My name's Jeremy Hoover. I am the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Hoover Conveyor and Fabrication Corporation. We manufacture conveyor and material handling systems for primarily the aggregate market, so any bulk product that needs to move from point A to point B. I've been with the business on and off my whole life since I am part of the family, but I've been in my current role since 2016, so about 7 years now. Mel and Jerry, my parents, started the business. They started in 1984, started out of our family home in our garage, and then through the Somerset County Redevelopment Authority, they were able to acquire the land that we have here as long as they hired, I believe it was 3 people from the local area. After 1988, they built the facility. Since that point, we've grown into roughly about a 35-person operation, and we're hiring pretty much every day. We have a variety of different positions in our company. The current demand is for welding and welders and fabricators. We do hire some general laborers, assembly folks that have mechanical abilities. For us, we don't operate or work on a lot of state managed projects or government projects, so we don't have to have welding certifications here. And so the difference between a welder and a fabricator is a welder is somebody who would take a structure, for example, something like this, after it's already put together and do all the final welding on it. They don't have to read blueprints. A fabricator is somebody who can take a set of blueprints and figure out how to cut everything to size, get everything put together, and take it from paper to product. One of the first things that I look at when I get an application is I search the person online. I like to see what their background is. Are they, do they have anything in their past that may be a warning sign? Social media is a big one that we look at. I like to see a long work history or a relatively decent work history, staying at the same place. It's a very expensive proposition to train somebody. We don't want to spend a ton of time and money and energy for them to leave in a couple months. Those are a couple of the first things, and then obviously we look at what their ability is. Do they possess a good work ethic, presentation? Somebody who looks professional obviously is going to do a much better job and be much more meticulous about the work that they produce. Somebody who's easy to work with. We wear a lot of hats here. Just because you're hired as a welder doesn't mean that you may not be asked to do something outside of welding. I think the way that you present yourself during the interview also speaks to the aptitude of what kind of work you'll produce while you're here. One of the biggest things is, I could say, the low cost of living. I mean, it's extremely inexpensive to live in Meyersdale. If you would take a welding position in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania today, you would probably start out in the $70,000 range, but it's twice as expensive as it is in Meyersdale. If you came to Hoover Conveyor, you can start out in the $55,000 to $60,000 range. You're much further ahead financially than what you would be to leave and go somewhere else just because the dollar amount sounds more. The cost of living is so much higher, it offsets that. Yeah, actually, almost everybody in our office currently started out in a much lower position when they first started here. For example, one of our draftsmen started out as a machinist here, took coursework, which we paid for, and he's one of our head draftsmen. One of our other head engineering guys, we paid for his college schooling to go back and get his engineering classes in. Several of our guys who have started as general laborers have been trained and are now working running our CNC burn table. We don't typically work on Fridays, so we offer that as if anybody wants to come in on a Friday, we'll spend the time and put in the energy to help teach them to weld. And if they take that first step, then we'll teach them how to read prints and go on to become a fabricator. We offer a pretty competitive salary benefit package, and we have a great cohesive group of people within our shop. So working here is a pretty decent place to work. Our turnover rate's extremely low. I mean, it's less than 5% over the past 3 years. So it's a good place to work.